Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to do a really basic, easy for beginners makeup tutorial specifically for my mum's friend Judy, who's going to a wedding and wanted some tips. So Judy, this one is for you. Hi Judy. Everyone else, please let me know if you like this and if it helped you in any way. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Enjoy! Starting off with a clean face that you've washed that morning. Put your serums, moisturiser, whatever it is that you use on your skin, eye creams, and then let that all soak in for like at least half an hour or so. And then with clean hands, make sure you clean your hands, you use a primer first. So this is just the one I'm using. Use whatever primer you have. And I like to just use my fingers for primer, and I just smooth that on, usually just through my T-zone, and then spread out the excess. That's just because I get more oily through the T-zone, but if you're unsure, just put it on everywhere, and less is more. Don't slather this on like you would like night cream or something. It's going to give you a smooth base for your foundation. I'm going to use a brush for my foundation today. You can use your fingers if you prefer. I just like the finish better of a brush, and I don't really enjoy using my fingers. And I've just put it on the back of my hand, and I just kind of dab it a little bit all over first, so it looks super awesome like that. And then I sort of just press on with this brush, press on and kind of squish down, and you want to go down because everyone's got like that peach fuzz hair on their face, and if you go down it's gonna like sit the hair down, and you don't want to like do really long strokes because then you're not going to get as much coverage, because you'll just be like sweeping it around, whereas just kind of pressing it in gives you the coverage. Like it just presses it into your skin basically. You can kind of start in the centre of your face and work your way out, and when you get sort of to the jawline, don't add like heaps of product here, because then it can look like a mask. You'll get the line, especially if it's not a good match. And then for the edge I just sort of blend, like do bigger strokes I guess, and like harder almost, more pressure. And then if you need more coverage in any areas, you can go back in with more foundation. Like I like to do with this foundation, I like to do a second layer a lot of the time. You don't need to. And we're going to spot conceal. We're going to like spot cover with concealer anyways. So then with whatever concealer you have, just basically put that wherever you think you need it. If you have any spots that are showing, or any areas that just generally need more coverage, like if you get any redness like around the nose, a lot of people get it. So I just dab that on with my finger, and then for this I actually just use the same brush that I used for my foundation, but you can use a different brush. You can also use your finger as well. And the same technique, like I'm just pressing it in, I'm not sweeping it, because that's just going to move both the concealer and foundation around and not actually cover anything. And always start with, like with the foundation, always start with less product. It's much easier to add more product than take away, and you don't want to like get that cakey look from adding too much either. So then if you've got dark under eye circles, you want like a peachy colour concealer, and you just pop that under your eyes basically. So that's pretty simple. You can use your fingers to blend this out. if you're going to use your finger, use your ring finger because it's the most gentle, because that's a really delicate area. And also look up when you are pressing it in, whether it's with your finger or a brush, and that opens up that area a little bit more. I like to do something else while all of that cream product kind of like sits and settles onto my skin, and so I do my brows next, and I find the easiest thing to do is just use a tinted brow gel if you have one, but if not, that's fine. If your brows are already like full enough, just use a like clean spoolie mascara wand, and just comb through them basically. Once your skin's had like 5 minutes or so to just like let all of this sink in a little bit, take a big fluffy powder brush. For a setting powder I prefer to use a big fluffy brush like this because it's super quick, but also it won't give us as much coverage as a sponge would, and that, like, I don't want a lot of coverage. So just swirl it in your powder. If you have a loose powder, don't tip it up, but I'm using a pressed one. And don't press too hard on the skin either, like I'm barely putting any pressure on at all. And I always just start in the middle, like the T-zone, like I do with the foundation, and then kind of whatever's left on the brush, work it on outwards. My mum said you want to like contour your nose a little bit. I'll show you how to contour like your cheeks as well. This is totally optional though, like you might not need to do this, and if so, just skip this step. But if you don't have an actual like contour powder like this, you can use like an eyeshadow that's in a good tone, so like a bronzy tone, but a bronzy colour, but with like a greyish tone to it. And you want like a smaller sort of brush for this, and again, like, start with less for contour, especially for contour and like blush, and you want to go from like the top of your ear and just bring it down to like no further than like in line with the edge of your eye on your cheek, and just really, again, really soft touch, not pressing down hard, and just keep working that, like blending it. And you can blend it like up a little bit onto the cheek, and that's fine because that'll blend with your blush. Don't blend down because that will look like muddy and dirty on the face. And you can bring it up a little bit into the temple, and if you want you can do a little bit around the hairline as well. Only if you want, and only if you need to. You might not need to, in which case again just like skip this step. So for contouring the nose, I'm just going to use an eyeshadow for this part. So if you've already got a matte brown grey eyeshadow, you can use that. The main thing for contouring is it needs to be matte, no sparkle, no shimmer, nothing. So I'm going to use a really small brush, like a really thin small brush. So it's an eyeshadow brush, by the way. So get some on your brush and then tap off the excess like this, because otherwise there's going to be like a big blob on your nose. So look straight into a mirror, and just like, you want to do 2 lines kind of like that. So the main thing is to just like ignore kind of what shape your nose actually is, and just focus on getting the line straight itself, from looking in the mirror. There's a bird bathing in the gutter outside my window and it's making a mess and lots of noise. So Mum was saying you wanted to contour like the nostril sort of area, so you're going to be bringing it kind of like quite onto the front of the nose. And then just do a tiny bit underneath, and that like lifts the nose a little bit. Now that alone looks kind of crazy. I actually like to take it back into the like nostril-y area just a tiny bit, like I didn't add any more on my brush, just pulling it back. And this is where that big powder brush can come in handy again, and I kind of just like on the sides go over it like this. It's really weird. If the brush is too big, just grab a smaller brush. This one's good. I've not added any more powder onto this brush. Just like whatever's on it is fine. And then just make sure, like, it looks so crazy because I never ever contour my nose. So I've just wiped that brush off on a tissue so that it is clean, and I'm going to take like a brighter powder down the center. So I'm using this yellow one. It's not very pigmented. Don't use like a yellow eyeshadow, but you can use like your face powder again, just something more skin tone than brown for you. And I'm just literally going to take that down the center. It's not very pigmented, but it's just going to blend that center together. So you just blend it until you can't see like, hey, there's two lines on my nose. Blush, so I've got this brush here, it's an angle brush, and you just, excuse that my blush is broken, swirl it in there. This one's not very pigmented so I can get away with this, but if you've got a super pigmented one, just like dab it a couple times, and if there's like too much on your brush, just tap off the excess like this. Everyone likes to put their blush in different places, so maybe practice and see what works best for you, like what you like best on your face. Some people like to smile and put it on the apples of the cheeks. I don't really like that because then it kind of droops. I sort of just like keep my face straight and just eyeball it sort of thing. Mum puts hers up higher than I put mine, so just, you know, just play around and see where you want it, but this is going to lift your cheeks like where you put it, so putting it up higher is good, like when I say higher, like further back towards the hairline slightly, and make sure it's like touching that contour that we did earlier so that they blend together, and just kind of swirl it around in circles. And then I kind of bring the excess forward instead of like straight up going on the apples of my cheeks. How's that looking on camera? My blush always looks really crazy on camera, but like in person there's like barely anything there for me. Not just for me, but like normal, there's barely anything there. So just practice with your blush and see how pigmented it is, because you might get like a huge blob of like pink on your cheek. So make sure you blend it out, and again, like with everything, really light touch. I'm not pressing hard at all. This brush is shedding, and then this might seem totally like counterintuitive considering what we've done with foundation and stuff, but without putting any excess on the brush, the blush brush, I just take it over the bridge of my nose, my forehead and my chin. It's like the slightest thing, you can barely tell, but sometimes just makes you look a bit more alive kind of thing. I mean, that's what we need the blush for anyways. Okay, so eyeballs. You need an eyeshadow primer, and you only need like that much, like the tiniest amount, and I just put it onto my ring fingers. Make sure it's your ring fingers because they're the most gentle, because your eyes are a delicate area, and then just spread that onto your eyelids. Being gentle of course, gentle. Yeah. So I have one brush and I'm gonna stick to just one brush for this so that it's easier for you. To begin with, I'm gonna take like a matte cream colour that's close to my skin tone, and just get that all over the brush, and literally just gonna put that everywhere, like so lightly. You won't even be able to see this. And this is just to give a drier finish to my eyelids, because if you go in with like any colour onto that cream, it might not blend very well straight away and it might go a bit patchy. So if you do this, it gives a smooth finish, so you're layering eyeshadow on eyeshadow and it's just going to be much smoother and you won't get the like weird patchiness. So yeah, that's just to make it easier basically. So I'm going to start with this colour here, a sort of mid-tone matte brown. This is almost like a little bit peachy, but you can use whatever colour suits you. So you just put it in and then tap it off, because otherwise it will just go over and go messy. So okay, I'm just going to pop this all over the mobile part of the lid, so up to like that crease. Like when you open and close your eye, it's the part that actually moves. And I'm just going to press that on. It doesn't have to be super neat for now, because we are going to blend. So without getting any more product on your brush, just put it to the edge of that, which should be like the crease or the fold of your eye, and just with really light pressure, and hold your brush near the end, just sweep back and forwards like in window wiper motions, and that gives that edge like a really soft blurred out effect, and it just kind of fades up to nothing. Do the same on the other eye. And when you're putting on colour like this all over, it's best to pat it on like this. You can see I'm doing a patting motion rather than sweeping, because sweeping is just going to sweeping's going to make it patchy, and when it sort of starts to leave this, like come off the skin, it's going to flick powder and get all over like your nose or your skin or cheek or whatever. So once it's all on, same brush, hold it near the end, very light pressure, no more product, and just do the window wiper shield movements. Window shield wiper? Yeah, you know what I mean. Movements in the crease, like on the edge of that colour, and it just does that blurred out gradient sort of soft smoky effect. So next, with the same brush, you can wipe it off on a tissue, and I'm just going to use the other side as well. I'm going to take that same matte cream colour, any colour that's like a shade lighter than your skin tone and matte is going to be good. This is the one that works for me because I'm white. And pop that underneath your brow without getting it on the brow, and then just kind of bring it down, blend it into that colour that we just blended out. And you can bring it right down into the inner corner. Cool. Alright, so wipe that off on a tissue again. Now I'm going to take a slightly darker brown, this one here. This is also a matte colour. You want this one to be matte especially. And I'm just going to get that on the very tip of my eyeshadow brush. You can see it's just on the tip, and of course just like give it a tap or two. And then I'm just going to put that, again, I'm repeating this so you remember, hold the end of the brush, very light pressure, right into the crease on the outer corner, and really lightly just sweep it back and forth, really light pressure. And I'm really only going to like the middle of the eye for now, of the crease, like halfway, like that. Really light pressure, and then once you've got most of it on there, just keep blending, and you can go all the way in now because you're not placing down too much product, you're just smoking out that little bit of product that you did put, and that just gives a wee bit of definition. So do that on the other eye, put it in, tap once or twice, and then very gently into the crease, so like between the, like where that medium brown ends, like fades away, and only going halfway to the iris or pupil, no, which one is it? And then once you've placed down most of the product, you can blend all the way, and you can do like little circles as well. And just don't forget, really light pressure is the key. Really, really, really light pressure. Like you can see my skin's barely moving. Don't be going like this, like don't make your eyeball move. Cool. Alright, so once again, wipe off the brush on a tissue. This next step is optional as well. It's all optional, but you know, I just think this is nice. So you can use your finger for this bit as well if you want, but be very gentle. So I'm going to take like a sparkly colour. It's not sparkly, it's more like shimmery, and just get it on like the flat side of my brush. Tap it again, and I'm just going to pop that right on the very centre of both eyelids. Just like that, and then I'm going to wipe it off on a tissue again, so that we don't like put that product everywhere. So wipe off on a tissue and then kind of just blend over it so it's not super cray cray, and it just gives a little bit more dimension, 3D-ness to your eyes. So that's pretty much all I would do for the eyeshadow. If you want a little bit of eyeliner, use a really tiny, you can see how thin that is that way, little liner brush, and then just use a really dark colour. So I'm going to use this one here. This is just like a really dark deep matte brown. You can use black as well if you want, or like dark grey, whatever you've got. And close your eye and just press this like right at the base of the lashes. And you're not like doing one straight line, you're kind of pressing it in and like wiggling it. Press and wiggle, press and wiggle. And you don't have to take this all the way into the inner corner of the eye if you don't want. You can take it just halfway or wherever you like. And if it gets like a little bit messy, you can just like smudge it. So go in, don't get any more product, and just kind of go over, like sweep over, and it'll just smudge it a little bit. Super easy, right? So then I'm going to go in with mascara. Whatever mascara you have is cool. I'm sure you know how to put on mascara, but get it to the base of the lashes and wiggle, and as you bring it out, so base, wiggle, out. And that's a good way of coating all the lashes. And then I just do sweep throughs. You can blink as much as you like, hold it still and blink onto it. If you happen to get a little piece on like your skin, that's fine, don't stress. Wait till it dries and then just use a Q-tip and kind of roll over it and it'll pick it off. But wait till it dries, because if you do it while it's wet, you'll just smudge black all over. Alright, lips. I should have said at the start, put lip balm on before you start, and then at this stage they should be all nice, and you can just wipe off the excess if you need to. Grab whatever lipstick you're using. You can line your lips if you want, not totally necessary. I'll do it just in case it's part of your step, but if you're not doing it, just completely skip this. So when doing your lip liner, if you're doing it, don't stress basically. Just go slow and gentle. Again, not hard pressure. You never need hard pressure in makeup. And just follow your natural lip line. And don't try and do it in one go either, because you'll mess up. Just do like short feathery strokes. So if you are lining your lips, I do recommend filling the whole lip in with the pencil as well, so that if the lipstick fades, you're not left with like a ring. And you've still got colour on your lips that way. So then with your lipstick, I'm sure you can apply lipstick. Just, you know, be careful and don't go outside the lines. It's just like colouring. Once you've got your lipstick on, make sure you do the finger trick so you don't get lipstick on your teeth. So you just take your finger and then you have a nice lovely ring of lipstick around your finger. But you can clean that off much easier than having it on your teeth in photos. So good, make sure you do that. And then Mum said she got you the lip lock pencil from Elf. I'm using a different one today, but same thing. I just draw this around the outside, so right up against the line of the lipstick. It can clean up any mistakes, but also it just keeps your lipstick from feathering and bleeding. Anytime you take it off your skin, just wipe it on the back of your hand in case you've got lipstick on the tip, because then when you go back you might get it on the skin. And that is everything, I think. If you have a setting spray of some sort, just give yourself a spritz. Whew. If you don't, then skip that step, obviously. If you have any questions on things that I missed or anything, you can email me, or you can ask my mum, because with Judy you can ask my mum. Everyone else, you can just leave me a comment if you're watching this. Yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a great time at the wedding, and I'd love to see pictures. And for anyone else watching, I hope this was helpful and that you learned something cool. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did, and also subscribe because that really helps me out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!